It's not coming through. Is this mic coming through?
Spirit, and I will work on it during the service. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And I will actually not be in the room because to hear the stream, I have to be outside.
Okay.
Is there anything I can help you with?
Well, I met your pianist, and I mentioned that I need a page turner. I'm not sure if she, maybe I'll right there, she would like to be able to turn pages from the other. Just has a lot. All right, so, yeah, let me just go ask. Yeah. Judy, right? Yeah. Yeah, she's the nicest person. I mean, I guess if I've got the mic on my right side.
I should probably be over here.
Yeah,
And it's just that one song.
just the one song. Yeah,
And I'll
because I
just
didn't.
over
Yeah,
here.
I would have. It's a last minute edition.
It's at the,
There was a video and the video has disappeared. So because the video is missing, it's a last minute switch.
Hi, I have a question about something that Mary didn't cover in the run through.
Yes.
The opening hymn is after the chalice light. Do I need to invite the congregation to rise in body and spirit and join in hymn number 151, I Wish I Knew How?
Gosh.
That's something we normally do in my services. Whoever is speaking before the hymn, instead of just starting it,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah, I would probably, if you didn't say it, I would probably say it. So,
Okay, well you can. Okay, you want to? All right.
I mean, yeah, I have no preference.
All right.
Yeah.
How about you?
Okay, great.
Okay, good. I want to make sure that was covered.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Instead of just like guessing.
Yeah.
Ask Mary? She might have a preference. Yeah. I know. She doesn't want to think about that decision right now. You can.
One day, when the glory comes, it'll be ours, it'll be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory, glory, ooh, glory, oh, glory, glory, oh, glory, glory.
Hands to the heavens, no one, no weapon formed against, yes, glory is destined. Everyday people and kin become legends. Sins that go against our skin become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtaposition in us. Justice for all, just ain't specific enough. One son died, his spirit is revisiting us. True and living in us. Resistance is us. That's why Rosa sat on a bus. That's why we go through America with our hands up. When we go down, we toughen ourselves up. They say stand down, and we rise up. Stop, we on the ground, the camera pan up. King pointed to the mountaintop, and we ran up.
One day, when the glory comes, it'll be ours, it'll be ours.
She, her pronouns, a lay leader here at Beacon, and proud to serve on Mary's Ordination Committee. We sit here on the land of the Lenni Lenape. On behalf of our Beacon family, we welcome you all into our spiritual home, whether you're joining us online or here in our sanctuary. We are so honored and grateful that you are here for this very special day. Beacon is a lively place led by our Board of Trustees, phenomenal ministry leadership team of Reverends Emily Bogus and Reverend Dr. Robin Tanner, and our executive director and leader of Lifespan ministry team, Dr. Tuli Patel. Our incredible staff includes our director of music ministry, Misa Iwama, Lifespan ministry team member and UUA credentialed religious educator, Jermaine Kripe, youth coordinator, Dana Moore, congregational life assistant, Brian David, and many, many others, because yes, it takes teamwork to make the dream work. Beacon's mission is to feed the human spirit and heal the world. That mission is what drew me here over a decade ago and what feeds me spiritually each and every day. Our UU faith is life-changing and life-saving. Can everybody repeat after me? Life-changing and life-saving. Yes, some of our current works here include loving our houseless here in Summit, New Jersey, the Summit Warm Hearts, supporting bodily autonomy and reproductive justice, tutoring and supporting students at Chancellor Avenue School in Irvington, calling each other out and calling each other back in by adopting the 8th principle to dismantle white supremacy culture and racism, committing to payoffs, relieving New Jersey folks from the overwhelm of medical debt, addressing food insecurity through Neighborhood Beacon, giving voice to the voiceless, and writing thousands of postcards to folks in various states, energizing and encouraging people to vote, nurturing our tri-church partnerships in Jawai, India, and Barot, Transylvania, purchasing a new property and working on plans to expand our Beacon home and family, and why we have gathered here today to support our seminarians and to ordain our ministers. Yes, this is what Beacon does, a light in the world, making a difference as best as we can, one life at a time. We extend our heartfelt thanks to the Ordination Committee members from First Unitarian Universalist Church of Nashville, Holling Smith-Bourne, Reverend Kathy Chang, and countless others. and Beacon members Stacy Dilio-Lees, Reverend Anne Marie Alderman, Reverend Emily Bogus, Reverend Dr. Robin Tanner, Missy Rogers, Kathy Menendez, and our fabulous tech team, ushers, and all of the volunteers making today happen, and me. We love you all and welcome you once again. And now I turn it over to Reverend Anne Marie.
Thank you, Mia. You've heard I'm the Reverend Anne Marie Alderman, and I am going by she and her pronouns, and I'm a member here at Beacon. As many of you know, Unitarian Universalists are unique in recognizing and endorsing our ordained professional ministers in two differing ways. One way has to do with historically desiring a learned ministry, or what we might now term a professionally educated ministry, which means we ask that ministers and other religious professional wannabes go through the rigors of a credentialing process, right? Many have been fellowshipped or otherwise credentialed, meaning recognized through their educational and often psychological and spiritual readiness for ministry. The other way Unitarian Universalists have historically recognized and endorsed ministers is through ordination. Beacon, as well as many individual UU congregations, have ordained ministers. The ceremony of ordination transitions the professionally educated individual into the Reverend. In our tradition, being ordained conveys this title of respect. Yet the act of ordination is more than that. What we mean in our living tradition is that a group of people, most often a congregation, has come together to recognize the call of the Spirit that rests on a particular individual in a particular way. It isn't enough for an individual to have a conversation with the divine in the closet by themselves. A body of believers, in this case the Beacon congregation, must recognize that one among them is not only trained, but fit to be a minister. It isn't enough to go through the credentialing process, nor is it enough to simply claim that one has been called to the ministry. A congregation must see a minister, hear a minister, and sometimes I say to ordination or search committees, smell a minister. Beacon has ordained many ministers who have gone on to serve in many capacities. Mia and I and all the other members of Beacon voted yes to ordain Mary Early-Zald. We are here to convey the decisions of this congregation that Mary is worthy of being the Reverend. May it be so.
We have some greetings prepared, some on video and some coming to us read. And so I'm going to invite one of the read greetings while we work on the technical difficulties for the video greetings.
This greeting is from Jesse Spencer Smith. He's a member, of the Greater Nashville UU Congregation of Nashville, Tennessee, and says this: as a former president and current member of the worship committee of the congregation, I'd like to extend our greetings and express our joy in today's ordination of Mary Early-Zald. We were privileged to walk with Mary for part of her journey to this day, and we share with you the excitement and the hope for the future an ordination brings, especially when one witnesses the ordination of a friend. Seeing a friend rise to the challenge of serving as a minister reminds us of our strong connections to one another in this larger community, and also reminds us that the work and contribution of one improves the world for all. Conversely, it can serve to remind us that the struggles that we all face are also connected, and that each effort to ease suffering, champion justice, or heal the planet moves forward the other goals as well. Mary's ordination gives us an opportunity to recognize that we can work together to dismantle systems of oppression and work to build a better world. At Greater Nashville, we create a safe space for children to grow and become their own person fully realized. We have worked to provide emergency housing for the unhoused in the winter months. We have participated in the Poor People's Campaign and marched for women's rights, rallied for equal rights for gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender people, and contributed to dozens of organizations through our Share the Plate programs. Today, we celebrate our connection to you and to Mary, as she contributes her own passion and talents soon as an ordained minister. It is with a deep sense of joy that we greet the ordination of Mary Early-Zald.
Good afternoon. My name is Jessica Moore Lucas. My pronouns are she, her, and I am Vice President and President-elect of the board at First Unitarian Universalist Church of Nashville. I am thrilled to bring greetings from First UU Nashville to all gathered here today for the occasion of Mary's ordination, both those present at Beacon Unitarian Universalist Church and those of us all over who are participating virtually. I'm honored to be here for this occasion of Mary's ordination into Unitarian Universalist ministry. I have been told that today's theme is collective liberation, and it is therefore perhaps fitting that one of my first memories of friendship with Mary is of a day spent canvassing against an anti-marriage equality amendment here in Tennessee. I also personally often hear her voice in my head, shutting down my perfectionist tendencies and reminding me that perfectionism is a tool of white supremacy. Our congregation's life has been marked with seeking justice and liberation. Our first settled minister, the Reverend Robert C. Palmer, not only participated and preached about the importance of racial justice, our members from our earliest days have participated in sit-ins, sip-ins, and more recently die-ins and the Poor People's Campaign. In the 1980s, we offered sanctuary to people fleeing violence in South and Central America. When the tenure of one of Palmer's successors was marked by sexual misconduct, members of our congregation mobilized not only to create protective policies and healing within our own walls, but also to create the Safety Net Project to advocate for change within our denominational structures to prevent such incidents in the future for all Unitarian Universalists. We have long advocated for LGBTQIA rights, immigrants' rights, and racial justice, both in our congregation and in Nashville at large. Our Trans-Affirming Collective was started as a project that was part of Mary's studies at Vanderbilt Divinity School and continues to this day. Our congregation has been honored to be a part of Mary's growth as a person and an activist, and now into the minister she is becoming. I am honored to call her my friend, and I will be thrilled to call her Reverend. And we will continue to support Mary and her ministry in any way we can, and we are overjoyed to send our warmest wishes for this day to our friends at Beacon Unitarian Universalist Church and to Mary and her family. Thank you.
One day, when the glory comes, it'll be ours, it'll be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory, glory. Ooh.
heavens, no one, no weapon formed against, yes, glory is destined. Everyday people and kin become legends. Sins that go against our skin become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtaposition in us. Justice for all just ain't specific enough. One son died, his spirit is revisiting us. True and living in us. Resistance is us. That's why Rosa sat on a bus. That's why we go through America with our hands up. When we go down, we toughen ourselves up. They say stand down, and we rise up. Stop, we on the ground, the camera panned up. King pointed to the mountaintop, and we ran up.
One day, when the glory comes, it'll be ours, it'll be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory, glory, ooh, glory, oh, glory, 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 glory. The war is not over, the victory isn't won. Go fight on to the finish, and when it's all done, we'll cry glory, glory, oh, glory, glory, ooh, glory, oh, glory, glory. We'll cry glory, glory, oh, glory, glory, ooh, glory, oh, glory, glory.
Selma is now for everyone empowered and loud. Even Jesus got his crown in front of a crowd. They marched with the torch, we gon' run with it now. Never look back, we done gone hundreds of miles. From dark roads, heroes, to become a hero. Facing the League of Justice, his power was with the people. Enemy is lethal, a king became regal. Saw the face of Jim Crow under a bald eagle. The biggest weapon is to stay peaceful. We sing, our music is the cuts that we bleed through. Somewhere in the dream we had an epiphany. Now we right the wrongs in history. No one can win the war individually. It takes the wisdom of the elders and young people's energy. Welcome to the story we call victory. The coming of the love, mine eyes have seen the glory.
One day, when the glory comes, it'll be ours, it'll be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory, 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 oh, glory, 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 oh, glory, glory, oh, glory, glory, oh, glory, 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 oh, glory, glory, oh, glory, glory, oh, glory, glory.
I'm the Reverend Dr. Robin Tanner, she, hers.
I'm Tuli Patel, she, hers.
And we together are two of the three members of the lead ministry team here at the Beacon Unitarian Universalist congregation. Unitarian Universalist siblings.
Congregations here on the land of the Lenni Lenape and gathered across hills and hollers,
colleagues and multi-faith companions of courage and compassion,
we, a widening we, and always yet and not yet are gathered,
across miles and milestones we discerned, and by the spark of this faith animated in the present body,
we gather to affirm, confer, to proclaim and ordain Mary Early-Zald to the Unitarian Universalist ministry.
Come now, our wise ones and prophetic emerging, the cloud of witnesses and the answering 7 generations from now.
Come now, our siblings.
Beloved, now is the time.
I'm Mary's brother David Early. My pronouns are he, him. Today's chalice lighting words are Who We Are Called to Be by Pat Uribe Lichty. Our chalice is a reminder that in hard times, our ancestors in faith acted with courage to bring hope and safety, to bring life itself to threatened people. We light it today as a reminder of who we are called to be in a world still dangerous and despairing. With courage, with faith, we bring ourselves to the work before us.
You will find the words for this opening hymn in your order of service. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing. I'm be seated.
Good afternoon. It's truly an honor to be here. Thanks to my friend and colleague for the invitation. But secondly, and just as profound, I've been asked to deliver a message from the men and women who have had the honor and pleasure to use the services of Summit Warm Heart. While if you look at the menu and you look at the activities, there's very little. But your compassion and kindness and generosity has made a very, very big difference in the lives of the men and women who found themselves trapped, and I use that respectfully, in Summit. Poverty is the trap. And without the help of kind-hearted individuals, we could not move or create an attitude that there is a way out. And every time these men and women come here, they walk away from here a little stronger than when they walked in. So I thank you on behalf of everyone who has been here over the last 3 years, or 4, I'm not even sure anymore. But it's been an absolute pleasure for me. And I want to thank all of you once again. And I'll turn it over to Missy. Thank you.
So the program that Prentice is speaking of, Summit Warm Hearts, is a community within the community of Summit. And the transformation that has taken place over time has been something that for me was unexpected as someone who said, okay, I'll volunteer at Summit Warm Heart. Sure, I can come and I can help. Little did I know that the experience of becoming a part of a community, which many of us have in our own churches and so forth, but becoming part of a smaller community is an opportunity for both transformation, for deep relationships, deeper understanding, and ultimately healing in the most profound way, healing of our hearts. So the offering today, Mary has generously determined to share with the Summit Warm Heart community. And so the generosity that you showed today in your giving will help to support this program that has been going on. Again, I'm with you, Prentice. I'm not exactly sure, 3 or 4 years. But it supports the program. It supports the ongoing relationships that have been built and are being built daily. So we thank you so much for your support for this program.
To be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us. So lift me up to the light of change. There is hurting in my family, there is sorrow in my town, there's a I am open, and I am willing, but to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. So lift me up to the light of change. May the children see more clearly, and may the elders be more wise. May the winds of change caress us, even though it burns our eyes. And I am open, and I am willing, but to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. So lift me up to the light of change. Give me a mighty yoke to hold my confusion. Give me a desert to hold my fears. Give me a sunset to hold my wonder. Give me an ocean to hold my tears. 'Cause I am open, and I am willing, but to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. So lift me up to the light of change. So lift me up to the light of change.
Good afternoon. My name is Dana Moore. I am a second-year seminarian at Starr King School for the Ministry, and it is my deep joy to be a member of the Lifespan Ministry team here at Beacon, along with Jermaine Cripe and Dr. Tuli Patel. Today's reading comes from Reverend Anna Bladell. She says, Micah Bazant says so well that there can be no pride for some of us without liberation for all of us. He's speaking of collective liberation. It's the eschatology for a theology that claims all life is entangled, inseparable, permeable, eternally woven together. It rejects individualism, celebrates collaboration, and acknowledges the difficulty of the fact that we need each other. It is more than inclusion, tolerance, or representation. It is an altogether different diaphragm. This diaphragm, this salvation, is material. It is political. It is bodily. It is not abstract or strictly a practice of belief, though it is spiritual too. It sings, it dances, it weeps. It has good sex. It redistributes resources, tends wounds, tells truths, and hinges on the power of God that lives and moves in and through each of us. And this salvation is good news too. For those who oppress and bear legacies of domination and power, it is the way of freedom for all things that wring out our souls and leave us dehumanized in the process of dehumanizing others. It requires repentance and repair, serious and lasting. To bring it about, to birth this future of God, this kingdom in flesh, asks us different things of different people and creatures. There is no universal path. White people have different pathways than BIPOC people. Queer people have different pathways than straight people. The land, the water, the creatures, they have their own pathways and ways of reaching freedom. Through collective liberation, though collective liberation is ultimately good for all life, its birth will come with costs. Its birth depends on individual paying attention to what must be done differently in each of us. Its pathways are not individualistic, but they are individualized, particular, specific. Its truths can be ugly, and they are sometimes painful. And though they are soft, they are not invested in being nice. They speak truth to power. They break silences. They reject unity that compromises anyone's humanity or well-being. And this laboring requires spiritual nourishment, bread for the journey, nutrients of faith that feed aliveness within and between and around. We cannot afford to rush too quickly past it. This is a long game situation. It is slow work, generations of work.
Good afternoon. It is a party to be here with you. Oh, this is gonna go well. I'm Reverend Sarah Green. I use she, her pronouns. I'm joining you by way of New Orleans and the UUA as Ministry Manager of Young People something. Woohoo, young people. I invite you to journey with me as we explore collective liberation as a whole body process. I would be remiss to start this without naming one of our connections, which is Vanderbilt Divinity School, which we had the pleasure of studying with Reverend Dr. Emily Towns. Luckily, she knows a thing or two about vocation. So we'll just start there. She writes in her Womanist Understanding of Vocation that vocation is to search for home, a place for health, healing, identity formation, resistance, celebration, transformation, not only for one, but for all. Home is the place where the real lives, the real worlds of people take place. It is a place where we are building life by life, in which we yoke our individual lives with communal accountability and learn a communal hope. Your task, Mary, as minister, and what we are called today to affirm, is to hold this call and vocation within yourself and the communities you serve. This is quite the larger-than-life task, and for this, I know no better teacher than the body. A body song. Throughout my time at Bennington College, where I studied dance, I had this teacher, Her name was Nora Chipamori. She was from Zimbabwe. And her courses were under the title of Contemporary African Dance, which moved what we think of as African dance into like today, that Black people in Africa are still dancing, creating new ways of moving their bodies. One of the most important lessons that she taught me and that we explored was the idea of a body hum. So we'd start class, sometimes we were tired. We were in college, sometimes we were tired. And the drums would get going. We had the privilege of having live drumming. We could hear the vibrations on the floor. And she would just start with this. It's kind of like a body roll. It's kind of like you get it. I see people, you get it. It's almost contagious. And then as the drumming would continue and we get ready to start our class, it would quiet. It would quiet. It would quiet almost to an undistinguishable thing, as if we weren't moving. So that even when we were standing still, there was still that rumbling in our tummy. I call this a body hum. There are different ways to find this body hum, and we are gonna try one right now. I can barely get up here without teaching a song, so. This is a call and response song. I'll do the first line, you'll repeat after me. We'll sing it a couple times, and then we'll transition it into a hum. That's where we're going. One more thing. If you're someone who sings up here, I invite you to bring it down. Sometimes it helps if you touch your belly, your thighs, bring it down. Here's the song. Forget your perfect offering. Forget your perfect offering. Just ring the bells that still can ring. Just ring the bells that still can ring. There is a crack in everything. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. That's how the light gets in. That last one is together. That's how the light gets in. That's how the light gets in. Forget your perfect offering. Forget your perfect offering. Just ring the bells that still can ring. Just ring the bells that still can ring. There is a crack in everything. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. That's how the light gets in. We're gonna hum it. Now quiet. Keeping that hum is everybody's work. But Mary, your ministry will require you to hold a little more complicated of a tune. Our communities each have their own hum, which they hold dearly. Although your task is not to understand a community's hum as your own, there's an intimacy you'll find about it. Your body song in ministry will be like a percussionist, holding your own humming bass line, but finding syncopations and cadences in line with the hums of others. I'm hitting you with two participation things in a row. So we're gonna try this again. And as we are here, I want us to think of these as gifts for Mary, embodied gifts in this ritual of ordination. So Mary, I would invite you to please find your baseline beat. You can step with your foot, you can tap your heart. I'm gonna let you find that. I'm gonna invite Mary's family to support her in this baseline. So follow her rhythm. I'm gonna invite this part of the sanctuary to do a double time rhythm. Like, keep that going. And Mary, you just keep. Can I invite the clergy in the house to find a syncopated rhythm that might go like this? Keep that going. And other people are gonna do this. 1 and 2. Mary, float between the rhythms. Feel your hum and the songs of this gathered community. Play. Howard Thurman's Sound of the Genuine essay ends like this. Now, if I hear the sound of the genuine in me, and if you hear the sound of the genuine in you, it is possible for me to go down in my spirit and come up in your spirit, so that when I look at myself through your eyes, having made that pilgrimage, I see in me what you see in me. The wall that separates and divides will disappear, and we will become one because the sound of the genuine makes the same music. That is the body hum that you are tasked with nurturing, with keeping track of, with resting with dialing it up with. A body moving. Movement Generation is a grassroots organization in the Bay Area that has helped me move through how to be part of a collective body in just transition. They and so many others are urging us to leave behind enclosures of wealth and power by means of extraction and exploitation, and be a body moving towards caring and sacredness by way of deep democracy and cooperation. Small task. Does this mean that Unitarian Universalism can save the world? Well, that's debatable. But I do think it means that we can be a people that, like the women who accompanied Jesus in his ministry and the day of his crucifixion, that were the last to leave his side, I think we can be a people that give dignity to sorrow, that do not look away, that bear witness, and then dare to hope and build something new. We're gonna practice that transition. So I wanna invite you to make a face that expresses an extractive economy. Why not? Yeah. Yeah, feel the muscles, feel the tension, feel the da-da-da-da-da. Okay, now make a face that feels like the living, beloved economy of care. A face that takes seriously injustice, that is spiritually connected and dares to build something with liberation at its core. Try that face out. Now spend some time moving from the first to the second face. I know, that's fun. But notice the shifts in your muscles, what relaxes first, what even when you make that face about beloved economy still's lingering. A body in just transition is about feeling liberation in more and more pockets of our body. You know when you get that good massage? Or if you don't, I hope you do, one day soon, and that you feel the tension melt away. I hope that's a little bit about how liberation feels in our bodies. But it can't just be about singular bodies, of course. Just transition is about the collective. And as we know so well in our congregations and our communities, it's quite a delicate dance. The work of decision-making, trust building, conflict, and repair. It's a lot to juggle. And boy, do we rarely get it right, but that's not what it's about. It's about the practice. This next practicum in collective liberation is an exercise from generative somatics. They help us get in our bodies and feel what liberation can feel like. This exercise is a rowing exercise. This is the basic motion. Your arms are out and you pull towards. You kind of lean and pull back. Lean and pull back. If your arms are not available to you, that's great, and we can lean and pull back. We're losing papers. And we're gonna row. We're gonna find a pace together. And then when someone wants to change the pace, lead us there with your body. Make sure we're listening to each other. Trying to go at as much of the same speed as we can. All right, we can come to a close. One thing that I noticed from being up here, and in this particular setup, is that not everyone can see everything. Mary, this will be a context of your ministry sometimes. Not everyone can see the things. And in theory, if there were people, lots of people way in the back, you may not even be able to see them. One of the sacred tasks of ministry is knowing where you are in the mix. Sometimes you're gonna be up here. Sometimes you're gonna be back there. Noticing what you can notice that others can't, and knowing when others are tuning into something that you haven't caught wind of is one of the sacred tasks, even though it might look like you're at the front. Our ministry is constantly tuning in. It's being a fractal towards regeneration, a micro experiment that vibrates out, vibrates in. Healing and collective liberation, those are things about the fractal. A body as a place of worship, I love this particular theme because I grew up where this concept was not it. Not it, but a deep dive into the etymology of the word worship as to disarm some of our beloveds, whom that word might make a little uncomfortable, reveal that worship is a process by which we acknowledge something, someone's worth, dignity, honor. It bolds nicely with my favorite interpretation of the word liturgy, which is the work of the people. So in worship, we acknowledge each other's dignity together as a people. That means it's your work, but it's not worship unless there's a collective. To work alongside others to acknowledge dignity and glory of people and the natural world around us is the call of ordination. And to make those distinctions both in community and in our personal lives is the call of ordination, to have integrity of worship. In places of worship, in our bodies, in places of worship, we build community. We hold our joy and sorrows. We behold the prophetic moment. We practice devotion. We study in places of worship, AKA our bodies. The question that collective liberation asks us as pastors and clergy people and reverends is, can you, Mary, grounded as a whole body place of worship, meet others? Can you maintain your hum while others wail? Can you notice when others' rowings grind to a halt? And can the reservoirs of liberation in your body ease the way for communities in transition? I'm gonna say that one again. Can reservoirs of liberation in your body fuel, source, ease the way for communities in just transition? I ask these questions, Mary, not as prerequisites of ordination, but invitations into a relentless practice of collective liberation. A practice that tethers our lives with others, a practice that calls us to flip tables, a practice that calls us to exclaim our Unitarian Universalism good news, a practice that invites accountability and rejects shame, and a practice that is whole body. Because we don't do this alone, I'd like to call in yet another person that we do ministry with on this plane, on other planes. I want to call in Elandria Williams as just one of many freedom fighters that fuels my ministry, and I pray fuels your ministry and makes bigger and bigger and bigger those pockets of liberation in your body, that helps you answer those questions, that helps you hold on to your hum. This is a song that I think about, when I think about the Highlander Center. I'll sing it, but I'd like others to join. The words are a little different than how you may have sung it before, but join when you're ready. Solid as a rock, solid as a rock, rooted as a tree, rooted as a tree. You are here, being strong in your rightful place, in your rightful place. Solid as a rock, solid as a rock, rooted as a tree, rooted as a tree. You are here, being strong in your rightful place, in your rightful place. Solid as a rock, solid as a rock, rooted as a tree, rooted as a tree. You are here, you are standing strong in your rightful place, in your right. One more time. Solid as a rock, solid as a rock, rooted as a tree, rooted as a tree. You are here, you are being strong in your rightful place, in your rightful place. Mary, blessed be your ministry and those you hold. Blessed be the ones who hold you. Blessed be your spirit and the colors, words, song, dances that you choose to share it with. Blessed be your cloud of witnesses that move alongside you in the body hums, as a body in transition and movement in the sacred dance. Blessed be your whole, full, and complete body project of collective liberation called ministry. Amen. May it be so.
Dear ones, I'm the Reverend Denise Gouch. I use she, her pronouns. Sarah, thank you. We're going to be in our bodies a little bit more. You may have noticed that we Unitarian Universalists use hands often in powerful ways, sometimes symbolically, sometimes literally. We've been called free-thinking mystics with hands. We use hands often, not always, but often during ordinations to offer a blessing to the ordinand. We bless our children's hands during the dedication ceremony. We say to them, may the works of your hands be blessed all the days of your life. And we share this use of hands, especially in ordination and in religious rituals, with many other traditions. It comes for us out of our Christian roots, but lots of other faith traditions do this too. They use their hands for many religious reasons and leave them behind as symbols, kind of like, I think of those handprints on cave walls in the dark as a, I was here, we were here, kind of sign. Our hands every day do so much. They hold and release, they comfort, they feed, they clean, they lift and carry, they play, they applaud, they communicate. Some of us, I've been told, are unable to communicate without our hands. They bid us goodbye and they welcome us home. We use our hands to reweave our individual corners of the web countless times every day. Today, as our hands and our hearts and our wills in this room and wherever we are joining online, as we are here with all of ourselves to confirm Mary's call to ordained ministry and to pledge support to her work in the wider community, we also know that Mary's ministry extends the work of our own hands. One of our deepest shared covenants, the one that expresses a longing within and among us, is a commitment to working for liberation. And if If collective liberation means that none of us is truly free until all of us, each of us, is free, I would like to suggest that it means also that none of us are free until all of each of us is free. Until all that we are, everything we have to bring to each other, is recognized, acknowledged, welcomed, and treasured. Hands do so many things, and one of my favorite things, besides talking, is blessing. So as we prepare to celebrate Mary's ordination, I would like to invite us each to use our own hands to bless and greet, to find and welcome ourselves, to find our own individual centers, which of course are deeply and inextricably linked to each other and to everything that is, before we collectively ordain Mary to her particular ministry of liberation. So, if you would, if you feel comfortable, just settle into where we are, where you are right now. I have a hum going. I love that. But I would like to invite you, if you wish, you might close your eyes, you might leave them open, but use at least one hand, maybe two. And first, I'd like to invite you to think about the space inside your head. Not so much the thoughts, although if you go there, it's okay. You might put a hand on the back of your head and see if you can find the spot that's in between your hands. And just be there with yourself for a minute. Let everything outside stay outside your head. And be in that still small point in the center. And breathe. And then, isn't it lovely how warm our hands got with all that clapping and moving? We're going to find our heart center in between the center of our sternum. And you might feel the back of your chair or a wall that you're standing in front of, or maybe put a hand behind your back and see if you can think into the center of your chest. And be there. Your heart is in there, your lungs. Maybe you can feel the pumping, the breathing. Who are you in that small point right in the center, all by yourself? And always connected. Be there right now. And then your belly. This is the part I find a lot of us have trouble loving, and it's okay. We can practice together. But put a hand below your navel. On some of us, that part's very round, and that's lovely. And maybe you want a hand on the back of your sacrum or your waist. And there's a point in the middle of all of that, between your hands or between the chair and your hand. Who are you there? It's your gut. Some people think your intuition lives down there. And then imagine connecting those 3 points with a line. And you can move a hand if it wants to be somewhere else, maybe a place you have a harder time feeling, if you wish, or just in your imagination, connect those 3 points. And there you are, the center of you that is connected to the center of everything else that is. Can you find that hum? I didn't know we needed to find a hum, but I do now. There's a hum that runs through all of us. Be there. Take a couple of deep breaths of whatever length feels good to you. And maybe shake your hands out. And come back to this room, this beautiful room, this room that extends out through time and space by way of the internet. So many people here to celebrate. And having settled deeply and lovingly into our own centers, may we now be prepared to enter together, hands, hearts, minds, whole bodies, into this very, very joyful work of ordination. Blessed be, and amen.
First inspired my transition from psychologist to activist and minister.
I am honored to represent our late father, Keith Early, in robing Mary at this time. Mary describes our father as the first person to ordain her because he was a deeply religious man and spiritual seeker who initially attended Catholic seminary and served the church as a lector. Mary, please step forward and accept this clerical robe as a symbol of your ministry.
The Spirit is speaking.
They're applauding your zipper technique.
Good afternoon. My name is Marcy Beitel. My pronouns are she and her, and I have the honor of serving as the president of the Board of Trustees, and I'm very honored to be here and taking part in this act of ordination. How's it humming, Mary?
Very well, thank you.
All right.
Hummingly.
Mary Early-Zald, recognizing your sense of obligation to serve the cause of progressive religion, and having received the recommendation of the Ministerial Fellowship Committee of the Unitarian Universalist Association, and by the authority of a vote of the members of this, the Beacon Unitarian Universalist Congregation, we desire to ordain you to the Unitarian Universalist ministry. We offer you ordination, a privilege bestowed upon us by the nature of our free church. Among us and wherever you may be called to serve, we would have you bear witness to the pastoral crisis and celebrations of the collective community. minister to all seekers in joys and sorrows, witnessing and affirming this liberating faith as chaplain, setting forth no less than by your example, than by your precept of the principles of our faith, including the commitment to collective liberation. Are you ready to enter upon this ministry?
I am.
I would invite all members of the Beacon Unitarian Universalist congregation to rise in body or spirit and share these words together, which you can find in page 5 of the program. We'll say these words together. We, the members of Beacon Unitarian Universalist congregation, do hereby ordain you Full Reverend Mary Early-Zald to the Unitarian Universalist ministry. We do pledge ourselves to walk with you in unity of spirit, in the bond of peace, and in all the ways of truth and love.
With a deep sense of obligation and opportunity, mindful of its privileges and responsibilities, I take up the ministry to which you ordain me. Okay, I'm going to ask Reverend Anne-Marie Alderman to come forward, please, and Mia Morris. Now I get to do presents. I love presents. Okay, so as you can see, we have the mic. Thank you. I'm sorry. As you can see, we have this lovely candle holder that holds our candle. And it's interesting because Beacon is a light unto our community, our congregation, and the wider world. And Beacon does not have a chalice. And so I want to present this chalice to the congregation. What's important, particularly important about this chalice, I want to be sure and get this right. This chalice is made by Owen V. Riedesel, or Riedesel. I want to make sure and get that right. Owen is a young person, a young UU, who started making these chalices at age 13. Owen is now 19. And so I chose this chalice and Owen to make this because of my dedication to being in solidarity with youth and young adults.
I've read about him. On behalf of the Beacon congregation, we present Mary with this Tibetan ball gong as a symbol of our love and dedication to you and for thanks. The significance of this bowl is that we had a larger one here, and we started to ring this during the Afghan-Iraqi war.
Oh, wow.
And it symboled the lives lost, and we would ring it and for the many lives that had passed away that week.
Oh,
And
wow.
just listening to the sound and the dissipating sound, and so treasure.
Thank you so much.
And now it's our collective hum.
It's our collective hum. Yes. Well, there's a certain technique to ringing
Yeah,
a
I don't know if
gong,
it'll be-
actually. Yeah, you need to be able to, I don't
Like-
even know, I'm not actually I need to learn how to do it, because you have to go around. And then, see, it's really, yeah, you gotta learn how to do it.
So we all have to go to her house and hear it.
Yeah,
Yeah, well-
or maybe you do it on the side. I need to learn. I literally need to learn. Okay.
Hello, I am Early-Zald, and this is
I'm Kalila. I'm their daughter.
Mary has always been concerned with healing the world through connections with others. Yet, when she first showed up at First UU Nashville 2 decades ago, I don't think any of us realized that this was a start of a spiritual journey which would lead her eventually to become a minister. If you know my wife, Mary, she makes friends everywhere she goes. Everywhere. It is thus incredibly meaningful and appropriate that the stole that we are going to give her is actually is a gift from one of her oldest friends from her childhood. And so we are going to present this absolutely beautiful stole, that is a gift from her friend Susie Worley.
So there's a little card that was placed in this. So the themes represented are the reds at the top are for music and AIDS awareness. The green is for the grassroots movements. The purples are her favorite color and favorite flower. And there are beautiful, beautiful irises on there. The rainbow colors are all forms of diversities. And I'm never going to pronounce this right, but the triskelion is I believe, an Irish Celtic symbol, and it is for...
The triskelion.
Oh, yes, it's down there. Nature and the movement of life is the well-known meaning of this symbol, describing the past, present, and the future. It also shows strength in the Celtic culture and shows moving forward from adverse conditions. So I believe Susie wrote all of this down.
Yeah, she did.
My name is Wenling Lai. I was in chaplain residency with Mary at Robert Wood Johnson Hospital during the global pandemic. We both survived.
Yes, we did.
And now thriving.
Yes.
I am honored today to be the body imparting the blessings you all have become aware and collected, right? With help of Sarah and Denise. And I'd like to invite you now, in ways that only you can, in body or in spirit, to extend and share that blessing upon Mary A special invitation to those online, if you would like to participate however you can. This is for you as well. Okay? So extend your hands, both one or the other, or not. I want you to verbalize or silently shout in your heart or out loud words as blessings to Mary. Popcorn, keep it. And for those online, I'd like to invite you to type it into comments if you can. Okay? Manifesting. Attuned. Real. Yes. The blessings do not stop when our words stop. Blessings do not stop when we leave this space or this time. Blessings will continue, visibly, invisibly, spiritually, physically. Include those in person with us and virtually wherever you are, especially Reverend Catherine Clarebach. As we now together pray, first silently in our hearts, Creator of the universe, generator of love, blessings, and peace. We gather here today to share this special moment because you first called Mary to be and blessed long before this moment and this day. And as she now is publicly ordained here and now, we ask you to help her remember the blessings that starts long before this moment and right here and now and continue onward. May Mary be sustained and supported in the most mysterious and marvelous ways. And as many traditions have used oil to impart blessings, I now draw the symbol of love, symbol of peace, and the symbol of check for yes. And let the people together say, Ashe, Amen.
Mary doesn't get to escape yet.
Okay, you can take your mask
Oh, right, I can.
But I love your mask.
Oh, well, you know, being in healthcare, I forget that I have it on now. So, I'm the Reverend Kathy Chang. My pronouns are she and hers. And I'm here to do the collegial welcome. The collegial welcome is traditionally a gesture of welcome into professional ministry to our ordinand. Yay. By a colleague who's already in the ordained ministry on behalf of the larger community of UU ministers. Really what it is a recognition that none of us do this alone, and that we are part of a living legacy of ministry. And so Mary, with this hand, I welcome you on behalf of our ordained colleagues into the ordained ministry and into the larger fellowship of ministers, and that we covenant to be with you as you do your ministry of the world of transforming this world into a better place. So congratulations and welcome.
So glad you're here. Oh my God.
So my name is Kalila Early-Zald.
And I'm Marilyn Cavanero.
We have been chosen to give the charge of the gifts. I believe she sees us as ones who know her pretty well, I would say.
We're the balance. We're
yes.
the balance.
The first thing I would like to say is something that my mom told me yesterday, is that a dear friend of hers, someone that, again, she probably knew in 2 seconds and became friends with, she goes and sees them at the farmer's market quite often, and they asked her recently if she was related to Mr. Rogers. And I think that just attests to how deep her love is for people and the community, and just wanted to point that out. So one of my mom's deep gifts is her great ability to understand and empathize with others. She is a true empath at heart. She has a deep gift of highlighting other people's gifts and passions and ensuring that they see the value in themselves and that the work that they are doing is valuable. When one is facing a hardship, she will stand by your side and walk alongside you, but she will also guide you towards light with love. You do not have to be a friend, family, or a friend to be gifted by her love. I mean, honestly, everybody's her friend, so. She will become friends with someone and care for someone on the street, someone in the airport, in a hospital bed besides her, to the grocery clerk who may just be having a hard time and need a smile.
Meeting people where they are with total respect for diversity for each human being and differences, and having honest conversations and open to conversations that some people will not have. Mary will step back, listen, and bring herself. Your ability to be vulnerable is one of your major gifts. Okay, I'm going to collect myself here for a second. Respecting whatever someone's choice is, Mary understands the power of laughs and smiles and her gift of song and singing with others. There's always a song that she can connect with people. Music is a connector for her. And trust me, she will sing with you even if you sing off key.
And one last gift I just want to point out is that she, as you can see with her altar, bringing in her dad and her brother, she carries those who have impacted you deeply always. She's always bringing them up in conversations, always bringing them up in her ministry, sharing their stories with others. People mean something deep to her, and everyone has touched her, and you all have stories that she has brought into her life. A couple of challenges that you may see in your ministry going forward is health. We know that health has been a struggle. It's been a journey as well. A gift, though, is that you're also very vulnerable and honest with yourself and others about your health. But sometimes you may still push yourselves a little bit to the limit, and we want you to know to keep going. It may be a challenge, but we ask you to remember that this is not something that you should hide from others. It is okay to be honest, and it is a way to relate and show your humanness. Don't lose touch, though, of your body and mind and health and spirit. May it be doing yoga and mindfulness, even just 2 minutes a day. That may be something very helpful for you.
Mary, you're very open with your own experiences, and it's important to remember that there will be conversations that not always need to be shared. More about listening and putting the focus of others, walking that path with them, explaining why and how she got there is not always necessary. You bring it with you. This is how you are. When you clamp down and you have, when you clamp down like a bulldog, can I just say that? Inside, you know there's something you need to work on. When you stop hearing, when you shut down.
There are a lot of passions which is brought forth in her ministry. My uncle said it well, is that my experience with my grandpa and all of his experience with being gay and my uncle being gay and everything with the Catholic Church brought focus into that love is deeply, deeply important to family and to my mom. I'm reading your part, but you know, it's just happening.
Really you're doing an excellent job.
You have brought in deep religious perspectives from Catholicism to Christianity to Judaism to Unitarian Universalism from your marriage and beyond, and then coming into Unitarian Universalism and practicing and learning about Buddhist traditions and bringing that all into your practice. It's beautiful, and I call you to keep doing that in your ministry and learning about other religions and perspectives and cultures. It's something very important. You care deeply, deeply about being in solidarity with those who are oppressed and marginalized, especially young people. You desire a world where oppression does not kill or cause harm. Specifically, your ministry, as you desire, is an urban community ministry, specifically radical pastoral care and solidarity with marginalized young people, focusing in Unitarian Universalism. Your faith is rooted in love, acceptance, fighting against oppression, racism, ableism, and sexism.
You want to keep going?
You can do that part. No, I talked enough.
Okay, so some of the ways to know if you're veering off path, we want you to think about. If you find yourself not listening and not hearing, when you no longer feel challenged to keep hearing and challenging yourself in beliefs and just listening to assumptions and convictions, you'll need to be aware of.
When calling out happens more than calling in, and it's not about being able to come from a place of love, you'll know you're veering. You will start to know when you're veering, when the fear and anger takes over and does not allow conversations and focus to be around love. Focusing on calling out injustice and calling in people to conversations is important, rather than just calling out and walking away, thinking that it's not your problem, but I don't believe that will be a problem for you. The biggest thing is when it stops being about uplifting and empowering communities and their stories and their lives and putting that focus on community and their needs, you'll know. And now, what to keep in mind, just moving forward in your ministry, is rest is so incredibly important. People don't see that a lot in ministry or any nonprofit work, but rest is so deeply important. And you do not always have to push your body and soul if it is calling out for rest, and we will all understand that greatly. I have a quote from you that I found about your ministry that I just wanted to share. Moreover, when I act in love instead of fear, I am my truest self. connected to the source. My most important life goals go from love and my desire to share it. As people say, God is love. I believe the love is the source. I strive to act out of love and being human. You know, I screw up, so it doesn't always translate, but deep in my mom's ministry is love, and that is the source. So just keep focus on community needs and the desire of love.
Because of your ability to recognize personal and spiritual growth, the conversations won't always be about hurt and pain, and that it's about joy. Focusing on people's joys and strengths can help you smile and touch a heart. All of your journey is what's brought you here. I feel like you've written a book, and now you're starting another one. What I want to encourage you is to keep plenty of room for the new chapters, but remember to look back at the past chapters that got you here, because they are what makes up Mary at this moment. And we love you.
We love you and are always inspired by you.
Always.
Always.
Rooted as a tree. You are here. Being strong. Rightful place. Thank you. I'm Karen G. Johnston, Unitarian Universalist minister. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I feel gratitude and a little bit of trepidation because I'm not giving a charge to the congregation. I actually love this congregation. I love your leaders, and I get a chance to have done work with you. But I have to give a charge to the movement. Thank you. We are called to join forces with emergent efforts and energies to be a part of bringing about collective liberation. We are called to join forces with emergent efforts and energies to be a part of bringing about collective liberation. Some of us are activists, some of us are healers, some of us are both, some of us are neither. All of us, though, are creators, crafters, generators, people of reckoning, people of recognition, repentance, and repair. All of us are listeners, all of us are speakers, even as our voices shake, even as our signing falters. All of us are meaning makers, which means, sorry, because it's true, all of us are theologians, whether or not we have those fancy initials after our names. Some of us are neurotypical, some of us are neurodivergent, some of us know privilege, some of us know oppression, many of us know the complex mix of both. And all of us are bodies just right, just as we are, worthy of love and respect and appreciation and magnificent consent. Amen. All of us can be truth tellers, justice seekers, covenant capacitators, comfort zone expanders. We are called to join forces with emergent efforts and energies to be a part of bringing about collective liberation. It's time now. I am inviting my co-conspirators to come forward to help, because I want to invoke the words of my friend and colleague and mighty theologian, the Reverend Teresa Ninan Soto. All of us need all of us to make it. And my invitation is not just to these so lovely co-conspirators who said yes when I asked, but I'm enlisting you and you online as well. If you are able to see the banner when it goes up, there will be 5 of them to read it out loud. We, from within, called by communities and held accountable in relationship with them, called through conditions that co-arise to meet this moment. A calling. Are you listening? Are we, Unitarian Universalism, listening? Hell yes. Yeah. To join forces. This is not ours to do alone or necessarily to lead. We are not the first. None of us are saviors. Do you hear me, my white family? Yeah. Do you hear me, my able-bodied siblings? Yeah. It is ours to bring our gifts, joining with others, finding and creating new textures of resilience together. With emergent efforts and energies. We are in liminal time, not knowing time, fundamental shift time. There is no destiny. There's no pre-existing answers. There are no guarantees. And it is from the merging and emerging of knowns and unknowns that we are handed an invitation to surrender spiritually and prepare politically. Yes. Therein lies the possible. Yes. To be part of bringing about. This is process theology. This is the theology of co-creation. This is humanism that leaves room for the divine, be it called goddess or great mystery or God or Kali or Gaia or Allah or paradox or interdependent web of all existence. This is being part of a greater wholeness that generates, that creates, that affirms. This is our heritage and our future, frankly, the only viable future. This is where we know love in public looks and feels and smells and sings and tastes and dances and naps and vibrates and body hums like justice. This is when we know what the organizing collective of which Aboriginal activist Lila Watson was a member, what they gave voice to. If you have come here to help me, you are wasting your time. But if you have come here because your liberation is bound up with mine, then let us work together, because we are called to join forces with emergent efforts and energies to be a part of bringing about collective liberation. So be it. See to it. Amen. Amen. Woo! I think we're having a hymn.
I am not the Nashville Choir, but I am honored to sing with you again. You'll find the words to the hymn in your order of service. Turn the world around. Please join me in singing. Rise in body or spirit. We come from the fire, living in the fire. Go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, living
turn the world around. We are of the Spirit, truly of the Spirit. Only can the Spirit turn the world around. Oh, so is life a batiwa. So is life. Oh, so is life a batiwa. So is life. Oh, so is life a batiwa. So is life. Oh, so is life a batiwa. So is life.
Thank you, Natasha. And thank you for your music. Let's give a hand to Natasha, who. Yeah, Natasha's my newest friend. I met her at General Assembly. Okay. Are you ready? Yeah. Okay. Beloveds, I invite you to rise in body or spirit as I close out our service today. Answer the call. Am I in the right thing? Doing the right thing? Okay, good. Answer the call from a world still dangerous and despairing by living into Asada Shakur's chant. Now, this is a call and response. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to win. We have a duty to win. We must love each other and take care of each other. We must love each other and take care of each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Because we cannot do this alone. Because we cannot do this alone. You're good now. And thank the divine for that. Beloveds, go out in justice, go out in love. Ashe, amen. May we be so. Namaste.
Lead with love is an answer to the call for connection in troubled times. It is a song about determination, perseverance, community, and moving forward. May we lead with love collectively, one step at a time. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Oh, one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Oh, one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Oh, one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Oh, one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes, lift up your eyes. Don't you despair, don't you despair. Look up ahead, look up ahead. The path is there, the path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Oh, one foot in front of the other gotta put